Silence. It's supposed to be the ultimate power move, right? You pull back, go quiet, and the world's supposed to shift in your absence. They're supposed to notice, to miss you, to question everything they thought they knew about your presence. But here you are, waiting in that silence. Instead of it echoing, it feels like you're disappearing, fading further into the background, while they carry on, unaffected, untouched, unbothered. That sting you feel? That's frustration, confusion, maybe even fear. Fear that silence, this weapon you've been told is so powerful, might not be working at all. It might be backfiring. If that resonates with you, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Stoic insights like this. Together, we'll uncover the truths you need to reclaim your power and build a life of strength and purpose. Welcome back to Stoic Spirit. Today we're diving into a question I know many of you have been asking yourselves. What happens when silence fails? We've all heard it before. Silence is strength. Silence is self-respect. Silence will make them reflect. But what if it doesn't? What if your silence feels hollow, invisible, powerless? That's where we step in, not to dwell on the failure, but to turn it into something transformative, something stoic. Here's the thing, silence by itself isn't magical. It's not some universal law that bends people to your will. It's a tool. And like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how you wield it. If your silence is rooted in fear, in longing, in hoping they'll come chasing after you, it loses its edge. It becomes transparent, predictable, easy to overlook. Let's be honest, people can sense when your silence is just a cry for attention disguised as strength. That's not silence. That's noise without sound. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that sink in for a moment. Because the truth is, when silence doesn't work, it's not the silence that's broken, it's the energy behind it. If your mind is still tied to their reaction, still chasing their attention, your silence carries no weight. It's like holding a kite string in a storm. No matter how tightly you grip it, it's not going to fly if the wind isn't right. Think about it this way. Silence is only powerful when it comes from a place of genuine detachment. If your thoughts are still tethered to them, checking their social media, replaying old conversations, hoping for that one text, you're not really silent. You're just pretending to be. And that kind of silence, they can feel it. It whispers your intentions louder than any words ever could. But here's the part you might not want to hear. Sometimes they don't notice your silence because they never truly noticed your presence. That's a harsh reality to face, isn't it? But it's also freeing, because it's not about whether they see you or not. It's about whether you've been living in a way that demands respect, admiration, and attention without even trying. Silence isn't meant to manipulate. It's meant to reflect your inner strength. It's meant to say, "I don't need you to validate me. I'm whole on my own." Picture this, a flame trying to burn in the rain. No matter how bright the match is, if the environment isn't right, the fire won't last. That's what silence is without the right foundation. It's not about the flame itself. It's about the conditions you create around it. And when silence fails, it's not a sign to give up. It's a sign to rebuild, to go inward, to ask yourself, am I holding on to this silence as a weapon, or am I using it as a tool to grow? Fear wants you to panic in these moments. Fear wants you to believe that their lack of response means you're not enough. But fear is a liar. Your value isn't measured by their reaction. It's measured by the life you're building for yourself. And that's the shift we're going to explore together. How to turn silence into something that doesn't just demand attention, but commands respect. Not through manipulation, but through genuine self-improvement. Here's the affirmation for today. My silence reflects my strength, not my longing. Write that down, say it out loud, drop it in the comments, and let it become your mantra. Because when you start believing that, when you truly start living it, everything changes. So stay tight, because we're about to break down what's coming next. We're going to uncover why silence sometimes fails and how you can rebuild it into the most powerful tool in your arsenal. It's time to stop fading into the background and start living a life so full and vibrant that their reaction or lack of it becomes irrelevant. Let's get into it. Number 1, The truth about silence. Silence. It's often painted as the ultimate emotional power play, right? The go-to weapon in our arsenal. You pull back, go radio silent, hoping to regain control, leave a lasting impact, or make someone finally realize what they've lost, understand your value, and regret their actions. It's marketed as the foolproof method, the guaranteed win. But what if I told you that silence alone isn't the magic wand it's hyped up to be? It's not some secret code to make them instantly miss you, or suddenly value your worth, or magically change their behavior. Without the right foundation, without a clear purpose and strong intention powering it, it can feel as hollow and utterly ineffective as shouting into a vast canyon, only to hear nothing but your own echo fading away. A stark reminder of your isolation and the futility of your efforts. It's like trying to start a fire with damp wood. The potential is there, but the conditions are wrong. Think of it like this: a beautifully wrapped gift box, empty inside. The presentation is perfect, enticing even. The ribbon is tied just so, the paper shimmers invitingly, but the substance? Non-existent. Silence, without genuine inner work and self-reflection, is the same. It's a facade, a carefully constructed performance that eventually crumbles under the weight of its own emptiness, revealing the void beneath. It might grab their attention for a moment, a fleeting spark of curiosity, but it won't hold it. It won't create lasting change. It won't draw them back if you haven't done the work to become someone they want to be around. Number 2, detachment. The missing ingredient. You see, silence without true detachment is like a beautiful, vibrant bird, a magnificent eagle, perhaps, a creature inherently designed for boundless freedom, tied to a string. From a distance, to the casual observer, it might appear free, soaring and gliding effortlessly in the open air, painting the sky with its graceful movements. It seems liberated, unrestrained, a powerful symbol of freedom itself. It circles majestically, giving the impression of complete control over its domain, a master of its environment. But look closer, observe with a discerning eye, and you'll see the undeniable truth lurking beneath the surface. It's tethered. Its freedom is a carefully constructed illusion. That string, though thin and seemingly insignificant at first glance, prevents it from truly experiencing the vastness of the sky, from reaching its full potential as a hunter and provider, from migrating with its flock to warmer climates when the seasons change, from truly living as it was inherently meant to live. It's a limited existence, a constant performance of freedom rather than the real, unbridled thing. A subtle yet persistent pull that reminds it of its captivity, its lack of genuine autonomy. Practically speaking, this insidious tether manifests in a myriad of ways. Every time you find yourself compulsively checking their social media profile, replaying old conversations in your head, dissecting every word and gesture, or secretly hoping for a text message that might never arrive, you're actively tightening that string, reinforcing the tether that prevents you from truly moving on and embracing your own independent path. You're fueling the illusion that their actions somehow dictate your happiness. Detachment, however, isn't about pretending you don't care or suppressing your emotions. It's about fundamentally recognizing that your worth, your happiness, and your overall well-being shouldn't and cannot hinge on someone else's fleeting actions or fickle validation. It's about consciously choosing to cut that string, severing the dependency, and finally allowing yourself to soar, unburdened and completely free, to chart your own course through life. Number 3, redefine your silence. Silence, in its essence, is often profoundly misunderstood. So many people, trapped in a cycle of manipulation and control, treat it as a petty game, a calculated strategy meticulously designed to make anyone, notice their deliberate absence. They dramatically pull back, cross their arms defiantly, and then impatiently wait for the entire world to revolve solely around their perceived suffering. But inevitably, when nothing externally changes, when the desired reaction fails to materialize, frustration quickly sets in, disillusionment takes root, and silence, once conceived as a powerful tactic, begins to feel crushingly like utter failure. Here's a truth that demands your immediate attention. Silence isn't inherently about them. It's decidedly not a weapon to wield, not some cheap trick to bend someone else's will to your desires, not a means of coercion. Instead, silence must be recognized for what it truly is: a powerful tool meticulously forged for personal growth, a sacred space carefully created not to selfishly pull someone closer to you, but to purposefully elevate yourself to a higher plane of existence. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, wisely stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That timeless wisdom captures the very essence of redefining your silence. It's about finally recognizing, deep within your core, that silence isn't simply a passive move within someone else's twisted game of power. It's instead a profound reflection of your conscious control over your own finite energy. When you deliberately make silence about cultivating inner growth, it ceases to be merely a reactive measure, fueled by desperation and external validation, and instead becomes a truly transformative force, capable of reshaping your entire being. Number 4. When they don't notice your silence. This is where the real challenge begins, isn't it? When they don't notice your silence, when your absence goes unacknowledged, it's tragically easy to spiral downwards into a vortex of self-doubt and recrimination. You start questioning everything: yourself, your inherent value, your entire approach to life. Am I simply not enough? The insidious voice whispers. Do I even matter to them at all? Was all of this, all the effort, all the heartache, all the deliberate silence, ultimately for nothing? That relentless inner dialogue, that cruel internal critic, can be ruthlessly efficient in its destructive work, skillfully feeding the long-dormant insecurities you desperately thought you'd finally banish to the shadows of your past. But here's a crucial truth, a pivotal perspective shift that can alter the entire landscape of your emotional well-being. Their perceived lack of reaction, their failure to acknowledge your absence, ultimately says far more about them. Their internal state, their capacity for empathy, their limited perspective, than it ever could about you. If they genuinely don't notice your absence, if your carefully constructed silence fails to elicit even a flicker of recognition, it's a stark reflection of their skewed priorities, their distorted lens through which they view the world. And, most importantly, it has absolutely nothing to do with your inherent worth as a human being. And it's in that subtle, yet profound distinction, that seemingly small shift in perspective, that everything begins to fundamentally change. Think for a moment about the life-giving sunlight that bathes our world each and every day. Do we consciously stop, even for a fleeting second, to fully appreciate its comforting warmth, gently caressing our skin? Do we routinely marvel at the breathtaking way it illuminates our world, revealing the vibrant colors and intricate details of everything around us? Sadly, no. It's always been there, a constant, unwavering presence in our lives, so we unconsciously take it completely for granted, almost entirely oblivious to its invaluable contribution. However, when the sun finally begins to set on the horizon, slowly surrendering to the encroaching darkness of night, we immediately notice its palpable absence. A void is created, a tangible chill permeates the air, and a heavy shadow stretches ominously across the landscape where, only moments before, there was vibrant light. That is how your authentic presence should inherently feel to those fortunate enough to have you in their lives. But if they persistently fail to notice your absence, it might tragically be because they were never truly and consciously paying attention to the invaluable light you so generously brought into their world in the first place. And that realization, while undeniably painful to confront, is not, in any way, shape, or form, your personal failure. Your inherent worth, your innate value as a unique individual is simply not, and never will be, intrinsically tied to their limited awareness. Number 5, the power of purposeful action. In the grand theater of life, mere silence without the potent force of deliberate action is akin to a magnificent, yet tragically rudderless ship, drifting aimlessly in the vast and unforgiving open sea. It possesses no discernible direction, is driven by no guiding purpose, and certainly has no clear and defined destination in sight. It's effectively going nowhere, merely existing passively, simply floating along on the surface of the water, patiently waiting and hoping against hope for something external to intervene, for some benevolent force, perhaps like a favorable gust of wind, to miraculously push it forward towards an unknown horizon. And here's a hard-hitting, unwavering truth that demands your immediate attention. Passively waiting, hoping, wishing, and dreaming fundamentally changes absolutely nothing. In fact, silence, when inextricably paired with passive waiting and wishful thinking, is in reality nothing more than a tragically empty pause, a static moment devoid of any real potential for growth or advancement. It's a vacuum, devoid of energy, a stagnant pool rather than a flowing river. But powerfully contrast that dismal image with the profound alternative: silence with purposeful action. That, my friends, is the awe-inspiring calm before the life-altering storm. It's infinitely more than just a simple break from the noise and chaos. It is, in fact, the meticulous preparation for a powerful transformation, a complete and profound metamorphosis, so comprehensive and impactful that it has the remarkable capacity to fundamentally shift the trajectory of your entire world, both internally and externally. It's the fertile ground where dreams take root and begin to sprout. Think for a moment about a powerful and awe-inspiring storm gathering ominously in the far-off distance. Before the earth-shattering thunder rolls across the sky, before the torrential rain pours down from the heavens, there's a distinctive and pregnant moment of profound stillness. A distinct, palpable quiet that is undeniably alive with barely contained energy, electric movement, and untold potential. It's a vibrant force you can't necessarily see with your naked eye, but you can undeniably feel deep within your very core, a palpable sense of anticipation. That, my friends, is precisely what your conscious and deliberate silence should intrinsically be. Not static, stagnant, and lifeless, but radiantly and undeniably alive with a clearly defined sense of purpose, an unwavering commitment to ongoing growth, and the undeniable potential for a profound personal transformation. Examples and methods. Personal goals. Use this time to set ambitious, yet achievable, personal goals. Perhaps it's finally starting that business you've always dreamed of, or mastering a new skill that will enhance your career prospects. Break down the goals into manageable steps and dedicate time each day to actively working towards them. Fitness. Transform your body and mind by incorporating a consistent fitness routine. Join a gym, take up a new sport, or simply dedicate 30 minutes each day to walking in nature. The physical activity will not only improve your physical health, but also boost your mood and mental clarity. Relationships. Strengthen your relationships with supportive friends and family. Schedule regular phone calls or in-person gatherings to reconnect and nurture these valuable connections. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, not those who drain your energy. Mindfulness. Cultivate inner peace and self-awareness through the practice of mindfulness. Dedicate a few minutes each day to quiet meditation, focusing on your breath and observing your thoughts without judgment. This will help you become more present in your daily life and less reactive to external stressors. Number 6, stop playing their game. If your deliberate silence is, in reality, just another calculated move in their twisted and manipulative game, a meticulously crafted strategy designed to elicit a specific response, to regain a sense of control, to prove a point, or to inflict emotional pain, then tragically, you've likely already lost the game before it's even truly begun. It might deceptively feel like you're in control, that you're strategically pulling back, going deliberately quiet, patiently waiting for them to finally notice your dramatic absence, to desperately seek your attention, or to finally acknowledge their supposed wrongdoing. However, deep down, if your contrived silence isn't firmly grounded in genuine inner strength, authentic self-respect, and a profound sense of self-worth, but is instead fueled by reactivity, desperation, and a deep-seated need for external validation, then it's nothing more than a fragile facade, precariously tethered to their next move, their next calculated action, their next deliberate reaction. And here's a hard-hitting truth, a crucial realization that you must internalize immediately. They can, and almost certainly will, see straight through it. Human beings often subconsciously possess an innate ability to discern genuine authenticity from contrived manipulation. People can readily sense, on a deep and visceral level, when your carefully crafted silence is born from a place of strength, inner peace, and self-assuredness. And when it's merely a calculated tactic, a desperate cry for attention, a manipulative maneuver designed to provoke a desired reaction. And when it's the latter, when your silence is merely a tool for emotional manipulation, it inevitably loses all of its inherent power, becoming transparent, predictable, and ultimately utterly ineffective. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless wisdom, said it best: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True silence, the kind that truly resonates with power and purpose, isn't, and shouldn't ever be, meant to function as a tactical strategy in someone else's twisted game. It should instead serve as a profound and unwavering reflection of your own internal mastery over your often turbulent thoughts, your frequently volatile emotions, and ultimately, your entire internal world, the very moment your silence becomes reactive. Examples and methods. Acknowledge the game. The first step is to recognize that you are playing a game. Be honest with yourself about your motives for being silent. Shift the focus. Consciously redirect your mental energy away from obsessing over their actions and towards your own goals and well-being. Practice detachment. Implement strategies to detach emotionally, such as mindfulness, meditation, and journaling. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries to protect your emotional energy from their manipulative tactics. Focus on your values. Live in alignment with your core values and make decisions that reflect your authentic self, regardless of their opinions. Seek support. Connect with supportive friends, family, or a therapist to help you navigate the complexities of the situation and stay grounded in your self-worth. Number 7, the transformation that makes silence work. Silence, in and of itself, is merely a state of being, a temporary absence of audible sound. However, its true power, its undeniable and transformative potential, is unleashed only when it serves as a profound and authentic reflection of who you are becoming, the evolved version of yourself that you are diligently striving to embody, and decidedly not what you're desperately trying to prove to someone else, what carefully constructed image you're projecting to the world, or what manipulative outcome you're hoping to achieve. It's fundamentally not about trying to make them desperately miss you, attempting to elicit a pang of regret or longing for what they've lost. Nor is it about clinging to the futile hope that they'll finally and miraculously see your inherent worth, suddenly recognizing your value and appreciating everything you bring to the table. True silence. The silence that resonates with undeniable power and lasting impact gains its extraordinary strength solely and unequivocally from the profound personal transformation it represents. It is, in essence, a tangible and unwavering reflection of your ongoing growth, your unwavering self-respect, and your unshakable independence from external validation. When your silence genuinely carries the substantial weight of real inner change, when it is fueled by authentic self-improvement and grounded in genuine self-worth, it transcends its inherent emptiness and ceases to be merely a meaningless void, a stagnant pause in the ongoing symphony of life. Instead, it powerfully transforms into a dynamic and unstoppable force, capable of reshaping your reality, influencing your interactions, and ultimately attracting the right people and opportunities into your life. Imagine, if you will, a mighty and relentless river carving its determined way through towering mountains. Does it ever pause to anxiously ask whether anyone notices its relentless flow, its unwavering dedication to its course? Does it ever beg the unyielding rocks to move aside, pleading for an easier path? Does it ever implore the silent trees to admire its persistent journey, seeking external validation for its very existence? Absolutely not. It simply and powerfully moves forward, steadily and purposefully shaping everything in its path over vast stretches of time, its actions speaking far louder than any words could ever convey. That is precisely what your conscious and deliberate silence should fundamentally embody. A steady and unstoppable force, deeply rooted in your unwavering commitment to personal growth, relentlessly driven by your clearly defined sense of purpose, and radiating outward with the unwavering confidence of someone who knows their worth and refuses to compromise it for anyone. It's not about demanding attention, manipulating emotions, or seeking validation from external sources. It's about consciously and deliberately becoming so profoundly strong, so undeniably self-assured, and so deeply grounded in your own intrinsic worth. Examples and methods. Self-reflection. Dedicate time each day to quiet self-reflection. Journal your thoughts and feelings, identify limiting beliefs, and challenge negative self-talk. Skill development. Invest in learning new skills that align with your passions and goals. Take online courses, attend workshops, or find a mentor who can guide you. Healthy habits. Prioritize your physical and mental health by incorporating healthy habits into your daily routine. Exercise regularly, eat nutritious foods, get enough sleep, and practice stress reduction techniques. Mindfulness. Cultivate mindfulness through meditation, yoga, or spending time in nature. Practice being present in the moment and appreciating the simple joys of life. Set boundaries. Learn to set healthy boundaries in your relationships and protect your time and energy from draining people and situations. Self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion, especially during challenging times. Acknowledge your imperfections and celebrate your strengths. Number 8. What to do when silence fails. The moment of truth. The dreaded scenario. The point where all your carefully constructed strategies seem to crumble before your very eyes. When silence, your chosen tool, your carefully calibrated tactic, seemingly fails to produce the desired results. It's undeniably tempting, in these moments of profound disillusionment, to succumb entirely to the overwhelming feeling of crushing defeat. You've strategically pulled back, deliberately gone quiet, painstakingly crafted a carefully calibrated sense of absence. You've waited, with bated breath and simmering anticipation, for that elusive spark of recognition, for some tangible sign, no matter how small or insignificant, that they've finally and dramatically noticed your carefully orchestrated absence, that they're finally feeling the weight of your lost presence. But instead, nothing, absolutely nothing, has externally changed. There's been no discernible reaction, no flicker of acknowledgement, no seismic shift in the relationship dynamic. The mounting frustration builds steadily within, threatening to erupt like a dormant volcano, and the insidious tendrils of self-doubt begin to creep in, poisoning your mind with negativity and recrimination. Did I do something inherently wrong? The voice whispers menacingly. Was all of this, all the effort, all the planning, all the carefully maintained silence, ultimately and utterly for nothing? Here's the unwavering and unequivocal truth that you absolutely must internalize, a guiding principle that will serve as your compass in these turbulent emotional waters. Silence, in and of itself, was never intended to single-handedly carry the entire weight of a profound personal transformation, nor was it designed to manipulate the thoughts and actions of another human being. If your carefully deployed silence hasn't worked, if it hasn't yielded the desired outcome, it's time to critically reassess the situation, to objectively evaluate your approach, and to strategically adjust your course of action. However, this crucial reassessment should not, under any circumstances, be interpreted as a signal to give up entirely, to abandon your goals, or to revert to old, unhealthy patterns. Instead, think of silence as a fragile flame, a flickering source of potential energy. A flame inherently possesses the capacity to ignite a room with radiant light, to spark a roaring fire that provides warmth and sustenance, or to bring comforting warmth to the coldest of nights. But if that delicate flame is struck in the wrong conditions, against damp, resistant wood, or directly in the path of a torrential rainstorm, it inevitably sputters and fizzles out, its inherent potential tragically unrealized. In this scenario, the match itself, the silence, the tactic, wasn't the fundamental problem. The environment simply wasn't conducive to its success. Therefore, if your carefully orchestrated silence hasn't ignited the dramatic reaction you initially hoped for, it's not because silence itself inherently doesn't work. It's fundamentally because the match simply wasn't struck in the right way, at the right time, or under the right environmental conditions. It is crucial to understand that this is not a condemnation of your worth as an individual. This is not an absolute failure. This is, instead, a valuable and invaluable opportunity to consciously redirect your precious energy, to strategically create the optimal conditions, and to deliberately cultivate the fertile ground where your unique and authentic silence can finally and truly shine, radiating its power, influencing your reality, and attracting the positive change you desire. So, what specifically should you do when silence seemingly fails to produce the desired results? The first and most crucial step is to consciously redirect your focus inwards, resolutely shifting your attention from what you cannot control, their thoughts, their actions, their reactions, towards what you absolutely can control, your own ongoing personal growth, your unwavering commitment to maintaining a positive and empowering mindset, and your deliberate choice to take proactive and purposeful actions that align with your core values and propel you towards your goals. You must consciously stop fixating on their perceived reactions, actively resisting the urge to wait passively for external validation, because their acknowledgement, or lack of it, fundamentally does not and never will define your inherent worth, your unique potential, or your fundamental value as a human being. What unequivocally defines you is what you deliberately do with this present moment, how you consciously choose to react to adversity, and the unwavering commitment you display towards building a life that is rich in purpose, filled with joy, and grounded in self-respect. This is where the real work truly begins. Resolve to deliberately redirect all of the precious energy that you've been unwittingly wasting on waiting for their approval, desperately seeking their validation, or futilely attempting to manipulate their emotions, and purposefully invest that valuable energy back into yourself, cultivating your own well-being, nurturing your own talents, and pursuing your own passions with unbridled enthusiasm. Conscious silence was never inherently meant to be a passive state. It was always, and will always be, intended to serve as a dynamic and powerful catalyst for deliberate action, a sacred space meticulously carved out for profound personal growth and a strategic opportunity to cultivate the unwavering self-belief that will propel you towards creating a life that is truly extraordinary. Practical application. Self-assessment. Honestly assess your motives for using silence. Were you hoping to manipulate someone, or were you genuinely trying to create space for personal growth? Acknowledge any manipulative tendencies and commit to shifting your approach. Goal setting. Identify specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, SMART goals that align with your values and passions. Break down these goals into smaller, manageable steps and dedicate time each day to actively working towards them. Skill development. Enroll in a class, workshop, or online course to learn a new skill that will enhance your career prospects or personal enjoyment. This will not only boost your confidence but also provide a sense of accomplishment. Healthy habits. Commit to incorporating healthy habits into your daily routine. Exercise regularly, eat nutritious foods, get enough sleep, and practice stress reduction techniques. Mindfulness. Cultivate mindfulness by practicing meditation, yoga, or spending time in nature. This will help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to respond to situations with greater clarity and composure. Gratitude. Practice gratitude by keeping a gratitude journal or expressing appreciation to others. This will help you focus on the positive aspects of your life and cultivate a sense of contentment. So listen closely, friends. Silence, in and of itself, is merely a tool, a potent instrument, to be sure, but never the ultimate solution, the magic bullet, or the guaranteed path to success. Its true power, the force that truly unlocks its potential, lies intrinsically within the strength, the unwavering growth, and the unshakable confidence that fuels it, that breathes life into its very essence. Think of it like a deeply rooted tree, a majestic oak, perhaps, standing tall against the fiercest storms. It possesses no inherent need to boast of its strength, to proclaim its existence, or to demand the admiration of the surrounding forest. Its profound presence, its undeniable power, stems solely from its deep and unyielding roots of unwavering self-respect and enduring resilience, which render it virtually unshakable, impervious to the fickle whims of external forces. Therefore, when silence seemingly falters, when your best-laid plans crumble before your eyes, remember this unwavering truth. It is most certainly not the definitive end of your story, the ultimate signal of defeat. It is, instead, a powerful call to action, a strategic imperative to consciously and deliberately redirect your precious energy towards what truly matters, towards what will ultimately define the trajectory of your life. Building a life so undeniably vibrant, so profoundly fulfilling, and so radiantly authentic that their absence, or indeed the absence of anyone's validation, no longer leaves a gaping void within your soul, no longer diminishes your inherent worth, and no longer has the power to derail your unwavering pursuit of lasting happiness. If this message has resonated deeply within you, if it has sparked a flicker of hope, a renewed sense of purpose, or a burning desire to reclaim your inherent power, then I implore you to take immediate action. Press the like button, amplify this message to the world, and ignite a chain reaction of positive change. Subscribe to this channel, join our growing community of conscious individuals, and embark on a transformative journey towards self-mastery and lasting fulfillment. And most importantly, share this vital message with someone you know is struggling, someone who needs a beacon of hope in their darkest hour, someone who deserves to know that they too possess the innate capacity to reclaim their power and create a life that is truly extraordinary. Let us commit together to cultivate unwavering growth, to embrace conscious self-reflection, and to reclaim our inherent power, one unwavering Stoic step at a time. Thank you for watching, and may your journey be filled with purpose, resilience, and lasting joy.